Hey everyone, do you find yourself overwhelmed by making your next PC purchase? The options, the multiple websites, or even lack of information on where to go outside of the big manufacturers? That was me. So stay tuned and follow me on my journey of frustration, excitement, and constant playing around with different PC components.
Marlat Media.
Okay, you want or need a new computer, but where do you begin? Do you go to your local retailer or order online? I'm a certified PC repair technician, but my knowledge of building a modern PC is limited. I was trained when dial-up was a thing. Now I might be getting ahead of myself. Why do I need a new computer in the first place? Because it's as old as the Stone Age? Well, almost. My PC was made in 2012. I bought it used around 2013, and then as time went on I upgraded it a few times. Originally, it was an AMD Phenom 2 processor with 4 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA GT430, and a 400 watt power supply. And I bought it from someone on Craigslist. Okay, I kinda have to correct myself. Saying those specs out loud, it does sound like it was from the Stone Age. I kept the same case, upgraded that video card almost immediately, and swapped the power supply for a modular 650 watt. As the years went on, I upgraded the RAM, the processor, video card, and a few other smaller things. It currently has an AMD FX 6300 6-core processor, 12 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA RTX 960, front USB 3.1 and C, and a couple neat looking LED lights. It's a far cry from what it was when I first got it, and it was doing great. I could run Premiere Pro, edit videos for personal and professional use, and everything seemed fine. Until recently, when I started working with a 4K video project and it kept stuttering. I lowered the quality of the previews, allocated more RAM, tried using proxies, and even closed out everything in the background of the PC, and it still wasn't working. I was getting very frustrated. Then, when I tweaked my BIOS settings, it refused to turn back on. I had a deadline for this 4K video project and needed my PC. The frustration grew so much, so I knew I was going to have to buy one. And if I was going to get a new PC, it should last a while. And hey, being able to play AAA games in my downtime would be a plus. So shamefully, I started looking at the big brands. I went to places that I could check out pre-built and maybe even talk about getting a custom PC built. Best Buy, Staples, and Canada Computers. Best Buy had a couple decent computers, to be honest. Staples, although the staff were super helpful, had nothing on the shelves for gaming PCs, aside from a couple cases. So I went over to Canada Computers expecting to find something. The store was under construction and no one even asked if I needed help, so I just walked back out. I guess I did need to order my PC online. So I went onto HP's website and found a couple really good systems. And I'll admit, this computer I nearly bought, until I realized it wouldn't exactly be future-proof. I absolutely would not be getting the mileage from this PC that I did with my current one, but I was desperate to get a computer. And that desperation led me to bring my PC to life, and I was able to bring it back from the dead. I could finish my video project and get it out ASAP. I now had the time to actually research for my next PC, and began PC shopping that following weekend, and made my list of places to buy from. I browsed Dell, HP, Lenovo, Asus, and even Amazon. I have an Asus laptop and I love it, but it's not great for those large editing jobs when I need 2 screens and more raw power. I then added CyberPower, iBuyPower, Maingear, NZXT, and Starforge to my list. I started with the pre-built ones and played around with the custom building sections on each site. As I did, I slowly found myself looking more at iBuyPower and CyberPower for the parts I wanted in a PC. Then I nearly bought this Lenovo, until I found out that its max RAM could only be 32 gigabytes. Not very future-proof. That's when I decided to also look up Canadian custom-built PC sites too. This was not going to be easy. I found CLX, PCC Zone, and Gamertech.ca. I then did the same playing around with components on their sites, building a custom computer on one site, putting the same parts onto each website, watching YouTube videos of the parts, and rebuilding. I even reached out on social media and got a couple new suggestions. I then saw an ad on Facebook for Quoted Tech. You gotta love targeted ads. So I added them to my list as well. As I did research, I was able to limit my list to 4 websites: Quoted Tech, iBuyPower, CLX, and PCC Zone. I was sure that I was going to go with the system that I had built on iBuyPower. A free RAM upgrade, going from a Ryzen 5 to a 7 was only $13 more, and the case. I wanted that case. Then out of the blue, I get a text message from Quoted Tech. I'm pretty sure that it was automated, but damn, that was impressive. I had only entered my phone number in the order selection, but not finalized anything. I texted back that I was shopping around, and they provided me a $110 discount code. My decision became difficult again, but I had finally narrowed it down to 2 sites, iBuyPower and Quoted Tech, and then planned on buying a PC Wednesday morning. I compared prices and was getting more with iBuyPower, but Quoted was Canadian with a fantastic incentive. As I looked at the computers I had built in the night before purchasing, the iBuyPower system was different in my cart. I had lost out on the RAM upgrade deal. Which around this time, I got retargeted emails from CLX and PCC Zone. Back to the drawing board. I played around with the builders again, changed out video cards, RAM, cases, and PCC Zone was starting to become the best selection. Its prices were great, but there were no upfront incentives. iBuyPower was cutting the cost of parts and had a 5% coupon. CLX had a 7% coupon, and of course Quoted had just given me $110 off. I built the same system, well, pretty much, on all four and began to compare apples to apples. I factored in the prices and had to convert iBuyPower's cost from USD to CAD and knew that there'd be a duty tax. Unfortunately, it was very vague on how much that would actually be. The options that CLX had were great, but even with the discount, it wasn't worth it. And the same went for Quoted. While they had given me an amazing experience, the cost of the PC was actually more than even iBuyPower, which after some digging, found out that there could be a charge of up to 20% for that import fee. I made my final tweaks and added as much into the systems as I could for the value, and when all was said and done, iBuyPower was only $17.72 Canadian more expensive, and that was even factoring in the duty fee and rush shipping. That made up my mind, I placed the order, and I went to bed. I then woke up sick and had to call off work for the day. A few hours later, I get a call from my bank's fraud division. Right, I had just made a large, strange purchase. I told them that I was the one that placed the order and that they would approve it if charged again. I went to update my payment information through the email I got from iBuyPower about the payment problem. I tried to update it and the site wouldn't let me. So I called up their sales and very helpful rep answered right away and informed me that the postal code needed a space. I had become one of those customers that asked the very dumb questions, but hey, the process was done and my PC was now paid for. I asked to get updated on my system through email and text message, and since I had requested Express, which was only $100 more, it all happened so fast. I got an email that the parts I had selected were gathered. A few hours later, my PC was being built. Another hour or so passed, the PC was fully built and undergoing testing and burn-in. Then after a day or so, the whole process was done and the computer was on its way with tracking. I ordered my PC on the 24th and it arrived on the 30th. Yep, that was priority. And since they used UPS, I got the option to pay my duty before the package arrived. I was expecting $500, maybe more, but it was only $324.63. I say that like I made money or something. Anyways, UPS knocks on my side door and pulls out this gigantic box. All right, here's this huge box, but I'd rather it be a giant box than not. I don't think it matters which side is right side up. But we'll see, won't we? My quick start guide. Let me move this down because, so quick start guide and quality control sheet. Important, save your original packaging because, you know. Here's my video card. The option was to have it packed separately, namely because, you know, if you try to have it installed on a computer when it's being shipped, there's a lot more damage to it that can be done. Okay, now it's gonna be trying to get this out of here. A lot of packing foam, which is what you want. This big, humongous box. Oh boy. Okay, here's the main attraction. Did want to mention, because I could have gone with a higher end video card, I just decided not to because I can always upgrade that later. I wanted to put more detail into the actual computer itself. Oh. So far, the packaging on this has been excellent. All right, let's see what we got in here. Nice, I have a 1 month of Game Pass, which is nice. Can control your RGB. Download my software. Sweet. And then, I mean, iBuyPower has been great. Like, and a free gift. I mean, it's probably something silly, but you know what? Free is free. Oh, there it is. And then they provided a free keyboard and mouse combo. Don't know if I'm going to use these just yet, because you're never too sure. This is the part that always makes me nervous. Don't like to turn stuff upside down. But I'm not too worried if I hold one side of the box. Oh. Slide you out. Oh. Ah. There is my computer. No video card yet. The nice thing is I have built computers in the past, but this one at least gives me like some instructions on here's what you do. So the case, oh, that looks so nice. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is beautiful. And it's, I want to say, maybe a little larger, but that is a thing of beauty. I'm going to be testing it probably for the next 3 days, and then I'll have a better idea of how it runs, everything, and how it works after that point. But as it stands right now, I gotta pop in that video card, I gotta take out my old computer, put this one in there in its place, and that is my unboxing of this beautiful glass white computer. Now it's been 5 days since I got everything hooked up and figured out a monitor situation. When I first got everything connected, my wall monitor broke and I had to rely on a small 720p monitor, not exactly optimal for this shiny new PC. Then when I turned on the PC, the case fans and RGB weren't working. The radiator fans were fine, and the fan in the bottom of the power supply was also fine. The I/O, radiator RGB, and RAM stick RGB were all lighting up. I then had a couple more RGB issues. I downloaded Armory Crate, and it worked for a day or so with everything. Then one stick of RAM went out of sync. I tried removing the RAM physically, switching the sticks around, and still the same story. Back to research to get my new PC working. But if you guys have any suggestions on what might be the issue, leave it in the comments, I'll check it out. I found out that this could be common with the RAM that I chose, and to just try the RGB software for just the RAM. I also noticed that the fans that weren't working were labeled as iBuyPower, and I was sure that I ordered Be Quiet fans. So I called up iBuyPower and left a voicemail. They called me back in about an hour or so. The agent was once again awesome. I must have sounded very dumb, or extremely non-tech savvy at the least, forgetting what the radiator was called and that the lights weren't working. It turned out that the Molex connection for the fans wasn't connected. After some instructions from the agent, I found that connection and boom, they came to life. But why didn't I have the new fans? Well, it turned out that I did. They were installed on the radiator instead, and upon closer inspection of my PC, they also put up an additional RGB light strip. The agent then sent me an email with another RGB software. This one controlled everything but the RAM again, but it also now synced up with the keyboard. So now I'm using 3 different RGB softwares to get this effect. It may not seem like it, but I'm tech savvy, I swear. I won't get into the details of the monitors, but I do have a new sweet curved display, and my secondary monitor was a super cheap open box from Best Buy. Now I really wanted to use my speakers with this new build. I mean, I've probably been using them for about 20 plus years by now, but I decided to upgrade that too. The speaker bar that I have here was a Christmas gift, and it sounds amazing. So after 5 days, I am super happy with my new PC. And there you have it, bringing myself into the modern PC age. I learned more about modern parts, how an I/O works, and that I actually still have component bias. Also that RGB can be annoying regardless of what software and parts you have. And iBuyPower was the best option. Well, for me anyways. This honestly could be entirely different for you. But now I'm a little wiser, and hopefully some of that information I've given has resonated in some way or another with you. The best advice I can give is this. Just start off with the basics you need in mind. My needs were to have 32 gigabits of DDR5 RAM, a power supply at least 850 watts for more powerful processors later if I wanted. RGB was a nice perk, and while most websites even say this, don't focus on the case, even though I did. I cannot stress enough how pleased I am how my experience went with iBuyPower. The PC arrived in great time, the tech support and the sales support was phenomenal. The build is beautiful, and the weird kinks in my system are not just my own issues. I bought this PC with my own money, did my own research, and also did all this without the knowledge of the PC builders that I was researching. I hope this video has helped equip you with some knowledge to help in the next steps of your customer journey. Thanks all for watching, and this has been Matt with marlatmedia.com.